So we have completed 2 weeks now of the trading. We've got a few stragglers. We've put the pressure on them to say they needed to be doing more, which they've stepped up to the plate and they have.
Over the weekend, I've definitely spent some time to review what was going wrong. Hopefully I can climb out from the bottom four, right, which are vulnerable of leaving this series and get into the top 6 by tomorrow night.
Overall, I'm actually really happy with everybody. I'd say this series has probably turned out to be, I would say, biggest amount of listening. They're all listening to what I want them to do. They're all applying what I want them to do. And there's no complaining and they're following the rules, bar 1 or 2 that are struggling with that. We've only got about 3 out of the 10 profitable. But the markets, I would genuinely say, I can't complain because it has been a tough time in calling this. The market is very volatile, whipsawing, something completely away from what these guys are doing, but the volatility index is, you know, at the highest it's been for a long time. So these guys are arguably trading in one of the most difficult periods of times they could have done as beginners. The US is borderline going into recession. The UK is arguably already in a recession. So for guys that are coming fresh to this, these whipsaws are pretty crazy. And to see the fact that they're not down much and some are actually thriving in these conditions is a positive thing to see. The downside is we've only got 1 week until the final challenge and we need these guys to start producing gains and making good returns. And this is all stuff that's going to come into play with who we send home. Very interesting week, but arguably, as hard as I've been on these guys, it's nothing really in their power. This is how the markets move. And I think in all the previous series, we've been in very trending markets, and this is the first volatile series that we've seen, and I think gives you guys at home a truthful view of what the markets can be like in tough times.
Downing Street, hot seat. UK bonds surge at the open on expectations of more U-turns by the government. The new Chancellor Jeremy Hunt is set to make a fiscal statement at 11 a.m. London time.
So it's a Monday morning and I was over the weekend in my Euro-USD trade, scalping. It was a good begin, a good start in the weekend. I had like $420 up, so that were like 1.6%. So I stepped confident in the weekend, and everything was good. I did not check the trade. I was just focusing myself on the upcoming news for this big week. We have some big news events today, like the inflation rate of Italy comes out, which is pro-euro, and then the ECB vice will holding a short speech, and normally he's about monetary policies, so it could be fine for the euro, but the dollar, even the news said, will and has to reach its price level, which is my take profit. So I'm confident that this will be reached somewhat today.
9:30. Have entered a trade about 20 minutes ago on the New Zealand dollar, and I've shorted it. So I waited for 2 lovely pin bars off the UK pivot, and it does look like we are now breaking this channel. I'm looking at this as a bit of a bear flag as well, so it should cover the distance quite nicely. It is a 2-to-1 trade, so we are targeting these previous lows back here, and it's well before S1, so it's looking very likely. But we're getting a nice bearish push now. We've had a weak dollar for the first start of the morning, but it looks like things are turning around. So yeah, half a percent on the trade, but we are looking for a 2% return on this trade. So that'll be a nice return and be a healthy account balance as well. It's nice to know that I've been recognised for some good trades, and obviously Sam trusts me with quite a large sum of money. Of course, it feels good to be one of the ones at the top. It feels really good, not to be at risk of obviously going home. So, yeah, that's definitely on the plus side. But with the trading, no, it's no different for me moving forward.
In a trade right now, which isn't going my way. Entered it on the 15. Made a new low, which was on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Had a retracement to the 200, so rejection of it on that 15-minute candle, which I entered. Targeted to 2-to-1, so the stop's here. 60 pip stop, $6 stop on gold. $12 target. Currently not going my way, but I reckon it could still turn around, no doubt. So yeah, got to let it run and see how the trade treats us.
Yeah, Jacob's struggling. I feel like he might be rushing his entries a little bit. It's a case of he's got ground to make up and little time to do it, so he's taking opportunities whenever he can see them. Talking a good mindset, but hopefully he sticks around and can turn it around.
Especially when you're in drawdown, right? You're down on the account, you want to make that money back. So you see price drop and you get in for buyers a bit too early, even though you should be more patient and wait for a bigger pullback to get in at better prices. Yeah, I'm at the bottom. I've got a few days to redeem myself, take the best trades I can. That's all I can say for now.
Is that when you take most of your trades though in the morning?
Yeah, and then after 2 o'clock.
So what's purple win?
Purple's loss.
Purple's loss, right?
Purple's loss. Green's win.
That's interesting. I didn't know you could look at that on there. Might have to have a little look at mine.
And then you could see your dailies too. What's going on each day. Tuesday's not a good day for me. This just shows like what hours of the day when you're trading you make the most wins, most losses. I mean, it's not going to be like completely accurate on this is going to happen every single day, but it gives me a good idea of when I'm making better trades and when trades are not really going my way.
It's 10 to 12 on Monday. I've just entered a gold short off a cluster entry. I've put myself a nice wide stop above R1 and previous support term resistance. Aiming for a 2-to-1 down at S1, but I'll be happy to take a 1.5 when we hit the lows if we see some rejection. Didn't quite come up to my level, a few pips short, but it's a lower high, it's bouncing off the EMA, we got a cluster entry, we got some bearish momentum, and it's a good reward to risk, so we'll see what happens.
I'm in my first trade of the day, and I've entered a long on Swiss dollar off the 15-minute. Got in here just on this pin bar. Price has come back down to test S1, which, to be fair, is probably the more discounted price. But just trying to take trades as I see them, just try and be a bit more aggressive, as I've been quite conservative so far. So instead of watching trades pass by, I'm just trying to get into them. So yeah, my target is to close the gap which we had on the open this morning, early hours.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks very much.
Could be in this for a few hours. Yeah, hopefully we can find support here at S1 and not enter too much drawdown and hopefully hit the target soon.
We're expecting a huge reversal of Truss's fiscal policy, essentially Trussonomics turning into Sunaconomics. We're expecting confirmation of the delay to the income tax cut. We're expecting a reversal of Kwarteng's stamp duty cuts, the tax on dividends, the tax-free shopping for overseas visitors. Really, it's a dismantling of Kwarteng's policy, which was Truss's policy, which begs the question, what is the point of having her at number 10? It's a question Tory MPs are asking themselves. 3 have already said publicly that she should go. Behind the scenes, they're asking themselves, should they roll the dice on a new leader now, or should they wait for what seems like inevitable annihilation in 2024? Jeremy Hunt really seems to be the one in charge now. Perhaps Liz Truss has inadvertently hired her successor.
So anyone that's got pound exposure needs to be listening to this talk that's about to come out on Downing Street, okay? It's literally going to be coming out in the next few minutes, and it'll be make or break, really.
Can you place the trade on this?
I wouldn't bother. I'd remove your target though. Just in case it shoots up. If it goes down, then you lose 1%. If it shoots up, you can make 2 to 3%, right? So I would remove your target and watch it very closely.
We are in a USD chef long. Move the take profit up to like a 4 to 1, to be honest, because you just had to move your take profit for the news. So once it comes out, we're going to manage it closely. Been waiting on this trade, didn't get the exact level that I wanted, but we have all the confirmations that lined up to take the trade, so I went in and took the trade.
So you reckon you can beat these guys in trading? I'm gonna give you a 100K trading account in prizes for free in my latest trading challenge. The link is pinned in the comments below. Make sure you enter, and once you do, leave a comment saying entered and hit that subscribe button to show some support.
So we've hit our take profit, but on the advice, with this positive news coming out on the UK, we'll see if we can get a little bit more longer donga. 1 to 2, that's me back at better than Friday. I like it when it goes the way it's meant to go. It's a good boss who gives some good information. I need that to
I'm expected to shoot higher, but I don't really want to tell him what to do, but I wouldn't be taking profit right now. I'd be holding on to it, but because this should be a large amount of positivity for the pound, but it's catch-22. The poor guy's been on lose streak. Do I say, look, you're up 1,200, you should take this, or not, you know? So.
I was up 1,200, that's correct. And now I'm up 400. Again, I would have gone out at 900 if well, I took the advice of someone more experienced than me and moved my take profit. Okay. And then, yeah, it's turned around. So. I believe that it's going to bounce back up, retest these heights around here, and then it'll come down to retest here. There's still a 4-hour trend line here. There's still
just bear in mind, following the UK Chancellor's announcement on the budget, so have seen sterling pare back some of the recent gains. So cable now approaching 112.50 to the downside, and reached highs above 113.30 earlier. And as such, also seeing euro sterling tick higher now.
Update on the gold trade, first trade of the day. As you can see, that's where the entry was. Did tag me out, and now it's reversing. First trade for the day, 1% down. Not a good start, not a good start, if I'm being honest with you, but that's how the cookie crumbles, and I'm quite happy that I got tagged out, because now I can enter other correlated, well, USD pairs that I wasn't able to enter before at better prices, because we can see nice setups on. Seen a larger push on New Zealand dollar, USD, which is good because we're looking for sells. Another pair that we're interested in is USD CAD, which is seeing a nice sell-off. Also better prices to look for buys. So yeah, we'll see how the day continues on. I'm definitely going to be taking a few more trades today because I do have to try to claw it back. I am down on the account, and we'll see whether I can get out that hole.
It's 11:51. I took a long on pound yen on the 5-minute chart. The 5, 15, hourly, and daily all are bullish right now. We had a really nice pullback here to this resistance zone and the 50 EMA on the 5. So we decided to go long in this position here. We are targeting 1.5 to 1. I think this is pretty close to 1.5. Yeah, a little over 1.5 to 1. Everything was looking good on this trade. We confirmed with the 15-minute here as well. We have a very strong bullish engulfing candle next to this bearish one. If it breaks R1 here, I don't see why our trade won't hit the weekly high, so I might move my take profit up when the trade gets a little bit higher. Just with how all my recent ones have been going, it usually hits about 1.5 and then drops off. So we're going to start at 1.5, and if we've got enough strength, we'll just end up moving our take profit with it. but we'll just let this one play out. Should roughly be, it should be a short-term trade. I don't expect to be in it more than a few hours. If I am in it for more than a few hours, it's probably not going to go my way, so I may look at getting out a little bit early on the trade.
Firstly, we will reverse almost all the tax measures announced in the growth plan 3 weeks ago that have not started parliamentary legislation. So whilst we will continue with the abolition of the health and social care levy and stamp duty changes, we will no longer be proceeding with the cut to dividend tax rates, the reversal of off-payroll working reforms introduced in 2017 and 2021, the new VAT-free shopping scheme for non-UK visitors, or the freeze on alcohol duty rates. Secondly, the government's current plan is to cut the basic rate of income tax to 19% from April 2023. But at a time when markets are rightly demanding commitment to sustainable public finances, it is not right to borrow to fund this tax cut. So I've decided that the basic rate of income tax will remain at 20%. Finally, the biggest single expense in the growth plan was the energy price guarantee. This is a landmark policy supporting millions of people through a difficult winter. And today I want to confirm that the support we are providing between now and April next year will not change. But beyond that, the Prime Minister and I have agreed it would not be responsible to continue exposing public finances to unlimited volatility in international gas prices.
So if you love trading like I do and my team, and you want to become more qualified, we offer a level 5 and level 7 diploma. Now this is the exact same as a master's degree equivalent. If you want to find out how to get more qualified in trading, check the link in the description and show some support by hitting that subscribe button.
100 pips for the euro against the dollar. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's like trading gold.
So we've just closed the trade for 1.5% profit. I do believe that if you have a look here, there was a trend line here that it bounced off, hit again. But I think this time it'll break down, come down, hit the 4-hour trend, or we might look to re-enter on this 4-hour trend line, this 4-hour level of support, to play it back up again. So we took 1.5% here, we'll look to re-enter down here to play it back up again later on today for another 1.5%. It's nice to break the losing streak. He advised people to move their TP higher because of the news coming out, which I did do. I moved it higher, and then the news came out, it did go higher than my take profit, but then it started pulling back. And it went down to something like, because it was at my original take profit, so that's why I took it. Yeah, but alternatively, it could be minus 600 again.
Been sitting in my New Zealand trade for a few hours now. Started off really well. Unfortunately, we have had 2 news releases since then, and it's just absolutely completely rallied straight through my stop loss. So not much I could really do on this one. Still completely was very confident on the trade. As I say, it started off really well, and then just got manipulated, I guess, by the news release. So yeah, a loss, but I'll carry on through the afternoon, look for some more opportunities, and see what we can find.
We're above 3-1 right now on the trade. Just keep moving my take profit, and we'll see where this goes to. At this point here, we're maybe aiming for R3. As long as we can just keep the momentum going, we might possibly hit it. But I don't want to be too greedy on the trade. If it starts going the other way, I'll probably end up closing it out. If it breaks below R2, I'll probably close it out. My stop loss?
What's that? What is it?
This is my stop loss.
I know, but what is it?
650, 2.5 to 1. And it's just under R2 by a good amount, so 9 pips. Hopefully it rejects it.
go.
Okay, so now we're just under 1% down right now. I'm okay with that 2.5 to 1 on that trade, so I'm pretty happy.
Finding it very, very tough with this group of traders, trying to give as much feedback that we can give. Today we obviously had new Chancellor Jeremy Hunt with a planned speech coming out at 11. I told the guys that if you've got pound exposure, this should be good for the currency, as he's going to pretty much reverse everything that Liz Truss put in place. We had one trader, Paul, who had that trade open, told him to remove his take profit. The initial reaction happened, started to sell off, and he then started saying, well, I took advice from Sam, so on and so forth. And the trade came back down to like 0.5% up instead. They're talking at House of Commons at 3:30. You know, common sense is to leave the trade open for the day. You could bank 3-4%, and he closed it out 1.5%. I mean, when we look at the chart now and we see actually how much it's moved on the difference, he was in here, had the initial reaction up there, and he then closed it out just here. And then obviously you have the 3:30 House of Commons and the market moved higher. If I tell them what to do, then it's me trading and not them doing it. The whole point of this show is to document them going through the markets, their emotional highs, their emotional lows, and their trades. But it's still frustrating knowing that he could have turned that into sort of a 4 to 1, 5 to 1 and made 4 or 5%. And walked away with at least $2,500 profit. Very frustrating and short-sighted, but there's only so much that I can give them. I just want to remember, this is your challenge as much as it's to be with me. I can only tell you so much of what to do, so on and so forth. Obviously, pound now in hindsight moving a lot higher. You know, we did look back at it. I know you said I didn't say to hold, but I did come out here and say, anybody that's got pound exposure, you got 1% downside, a lot of percentage upside. News said that they was talking in House of Commons at 3 o'clock. We've then had pound dollar, pound yen move up. So obviously for Paul, and also for yourself, when you came in and spoke to me, you're obviously pound yen. Should have kept them going. Could have made a lot more than what we did. But then also on the flip side, that then makes me question why people would be euro dollar short. For example, Tibor, you was euro dollar short from Thursday last week, but if pound dollar's going to go up, what's correlated with pound dollar? Euro dollar, right?
Yeah, what should I do? I wasn't even at 1.5.
Okay, so
I was in your office and was not aware that it happened.
But I mean, we're still aware of that going through this morning, right? That we're going to have the whole government side of things, yeah? And then that then goes on even further to Ben opening trades, or other people actually opening trades on US dollar Swiss, because then that's obviously negatively correlated to euro dollar. So with the whole focus around the pound today and Parliament, there was quite a few opportunities missed, but also I would say just not thinking right. I mean, if we're taking trades, I'd rather people have not even been in pound today or pound dollar, especially with what was going on. If you was in the trade, you know, on Thursday or Friday, that's fair enough. But going fresh into it, obviously, if this setup, we've got news coming out where it's either going to be make or break, we probably want to stay away from it. Kudos to yourself for taking a trade today, Aaron, on your big account. Didn't pan out, but hey, look, you did it. That's what we're there for with the large capital. Need to see a bit more from you, Zolt. We need to get some trades going. Obviously, you're most profitable at the moment. I know you're very cautious with what you're taking, and it's panned out really well, but need to try to help everybody else out this week if we can, and try to get a couple of big trades, yeah? These next few days are really, really important. So every day that you're finishing, we should be going into tomorrow of what's going to be discussed in the news. What news releases have we got coming out? How am I going to plan what I'm trading, what I'm not trading for that day, yeah? We would have known yesterday that obviously Jeremy Hunt and the Chancellor was coming out today. So we knew that was yesterday. So we should be taking that stuff into account. So what's happening tomorrow? What's going to move the markets tomorrow? How do I either stay away from that, or how do I capitalize from that? Those are things that we want to take into account. The next 2 days are super, super important for everybody here, yeah? For those that are taking trades today, that are still losing, you still have got another day to show exactly what you're capable of doing. And again, documenting your thought process behind it, why you took those trades. As long as you can justify them, it is really important. Yeah, it's a tough one that we're in at the moment. Again, we're another losing day, down $1,000 today overall. And there's nothing more than what I want to do is allocate capital to those that are showing that they are capable of taking those trades. But we've either got people either losing trades today, not maybe thinking through the process of their trade as much as they should have done, or people losing. So it's really hard to then go and allocate fresh capital to people. Probably say, Christian, you're probably looking like the next person to get more capital. Obviously you had a bad run, followed all of the rules, then you had a good 4% run last week. You've had one loss now, but you're in a nice trade at the moment. That looks like it's going to pan out. So as long as you keep ticking those boxes, I can move that capital up. Again, same with yourself, Abdul, as well, yeah? Keep taking the trades, keep making sure they tick your list, and let's try to get more positive movement going into tomorrow, yeah? Those that are down, try not to be disheartened, yeah? This is the market, so you're going to have ups and downs. The most important thing is that every single time that you have a mistake, a learning curve, a loss, you try to go, what can I learn from this and take from that? I would also prefer this week if people don't try to come and say to me, should I take profit now? Because what I've started to notice is between everybody, it'll be an scapegoat of saying, but Sam's told me this, or Sam said that. So I think that's quite an important factor, because if you do take profit, you take credit for it. If you take a loss, Sam told me to do that. So it doesn't work like that. We have to take responsibility for our trades no matter what I say. So as long as you're happy with that, we still have to take responsibility of that. I'm more than happy to give you what my opinion is, what my take is. It was very hard for the pound to be seen as negative, so it's quite interesting to see people's take on that, especially with like the roll-on effect of the euro dollar and US dollar Swiss. It's quite hard for it to be negative for the currency when we've got so much coming back to the markets with pretty much all the damage kind of being reversed now. So yeah, any questions guys you've got, please do come and talk to me. Let's try to get this back. This week is the biggest week to count if you want to be in the finals next week, yeah? All right guys, no worries. So I'm going to move you up to 75,000. Okay. I think you've done just under 3% this week, haven't you? I'm going to move you up to 50,000 because you've been doing really well since Friday, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Ben, Christian, Jalen, Jacob, Paul and Abdul, can you make sure you are all changed into comfortable clothing and wearing a well-fitted lace-up trainers?
We will be departing at 5:30 sharp. If you need to go downstairs or check your ready bag, that is perfectly fine. If you want to quit, just let me know. But I genuinely don't know. Stay hydrated could just literally be something to throw us off because you honestly don't know what's going on from minute to minute at this place.
I think it's the naughty list. It's the cost Sam most money list.